Life is not here to make you happy. Life is here to help you grow and evolve, hopefully into your best self. That's a phrase I kind of paraphrased and stole from Eckhart Tolle, but I completely believe in it. And the way life does this is it gives you challenges. How well you deal with these challenges will show you how well you're going to grow and evolve, whether you embrace them, whether you get bogged down by them. I want to talk about, though, on how you can use your health and fitness program to not only increase your body, but to more importantly, increase your life. Because that's what it's all about, is being a better person, doing more in this world. How you doing? My name is Akimbo So. So I'm the owner of SoCore Fitness, and I've been in the health and fitness field for about 30 years. I'm a Soma trainer and a Soma therapist, which are degrees under the osteopathic model. Kind of makes me, to help you understand, kind of like a physical therapist, but much, much more. And I started this business because I want to help people. Now, when people come to me for help, they come to me for pain relief, getting stronger, more mobile, better balance, stuff like that, right? But more importantly, they want a better life. And so when they come to me with these goals, what I hear behind them is what they want to do in their life. I always ask, well, why do you want to do what you want to do? And they tell me, and it always leads to some sort of variation in having a better life. And so when I put them into a program, yes, I want them to get their benefits, whatever they're doing. But more importantly, I see where they can go. So that's one of the benefits of being a practitioner is you can look at somebody, at least I can, and I can see the potential where they could go. Now, whether they go there or not, it's totally up to them. I can only help so far. But it's the whole reason I started my business is to provide an avenue for growth, right? A supportive avenue for growth. That's what I'm here for. It's just in the form of therapy and training. So if you want to hear more about this holistic model I use, then please subscribe. I'll put out videos about once a week, and you subscribe, just hit that bell, and you'll be notified right away. I'm going to steal another phrase from my boy Buddha. There is suffering, but suffering has a cause. So he said that way back in Buddha's day because he knew that us as humans, we suffer in a multitude of different ways: financial, physical, mental, emotional, relationships, work-wise, XXXX. But suffering there's a reason for it. And that reason in Buddha's world was to reach liberation and enlightenment. Now, you don't have to want to reach liberation and enlightenment, but you don't have to be a genius to think that if I work through my challenges, I can become a better person. But too often, we get stuck in our conditioned existence. This is again from like a Buddhist philosophy. We get stuck in who we think we are. Our thoughts, our emotions, we think that's us. So we have a little bubble. This is Akimba, this is who I am, this is how I'm going to react constantly, which is why we lead this kind of cyclical life for the most part, right? Like you notice that things keep happening to you, the same similar things over and over again, because we never progress past this little bubble, because we keep reacting from our conditioned existence. But that's not who we are. If all we were was a little bundle of emotions and thoughts, and that was it, we would never progress past, being an infant, being a toddler. And you can actually see that in some adults. You have people who are 60s, 70s, 80s, acting like children. They never progress past that little stage and keep reacting from the same spot. Now, it might be too late for them, but it's not too late for the majority of us. We can use this suffering to propel us to a better life. The best way to evolve is to go straight at it and embrace your challenges. I know that's hard nowadays. We have so many ways to distract ourselves with food and internet and substances and movies and all these things. And not that these things are inherently bad, but they're bad when you're ignoring the things you need to do for you. You have to go things straight on. It can't just be a meme and say, I'm going to do these things. Like when you go things straight at it, it's difficult. It's challenging. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean somebody's doing something to you. These are attachments that people attach to challenges. They think, oh, my life is hard and why me and all these things. That's that conditioned existence I was talking about. That's something you start to be aware of. Awareness is a big place to start. You have to be aware of how you continue to react in your life. That'll tell you where you're stuck in your life. If you see a theme in your life, then you need to change that. Now you can use a holistic health and fitness program to help that. Now, if I want to progress in life, I need to do so, in my opinion, in a holistic manner, right? So I can't just do this over here for fitness, do this over here for mental, do this over here for spiritual, right? There has to be some cohesion, right? Doesn't have to be one program, but there has to be some cohesion. So when you sit down and you think about what you want in life, you have to have a goal. That goal has to relate to what you feel deep inside, whatever spiritual thing you believe in. How does that connect to my mental? How does it connect to what I want to do in this life? And then write it down. It sounds simplistic, but you write it down. That writing process will help solidify what you want in your mind, and then you try to find the best avenue. Now, in terms of health and fitness, there's a lot of crazy ass options out there. Can you say ass? Well, I just did. There's a lot of stuff out there, but you need to find what's appropriate for you. It's not about what's flashiest. It's not about what makes you happy right away. It's about what is a good program to bring you forward. How does it challenge you and work in the different aspects of your body to move you forward? Now, when you first start a health and fitness program, you can say there's three types of people. There's the beginner, there's the experienced, and the advanced. They all have challenges that they have to go through, and these challenges can lead to a better life. So if I'm a couch potato or somebody who doesn't work out, that challenge is just getting my ass moving, to get out there and do something. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'm not super a fan of that phrase of just getting out and move, of just doing what's fun. But at this level, for the short term, it's good. Get out there and get moving, start to connect to your body, feel the difference between sedentary and not sedentary. But pretty quickly, you're going to turn into experienced, even after about a month or so. Now you need to have something to do, because just getting out and move or just doing what's fun won't bring you anywhere, right? If I look at a map and I want to go from here, Santa Fe, to Denver, there's a couple of routes I can take. Doesn't matter which one, but there's routes. If I just look at the map and I just start walking, well, I'm not going to get to Denver because I'm just kind of going everywhere. I'm kind of walking around. If that's what you want to do, great. But you need to have a map to get you there. This map needs to challenge you. So I come across this all the time. I mainly work with people who are experienced and or advanced. And they started working out and developed in their program when they're in their 20s and maybe 30s, but now they're in their 40s, 50s, 60s, even 70s, maybe 80s, and they're kind of still doing the same thing. They're kind of still doing the same workouts. They still have the same mindset as what to do. You can't do that. That's not a challenge to yourself. The challenge is not to move anymore. You're already doing that. You got that accomplished. Okay, what's the challenge? The challenge of maybe doing your workout? Okay, a little bit, but that challenge needs to make sure you end up with a balanced body. If your body is getting worse, then you're not challenging yourself. So when they first started their program, say back in their 20s, like I said, the challenge was to get moving, but they got moving. But they continued to do the same program. These programs generally aren't holistic, they're just movements. You do a yoga class here, you go running here, you go skiing here, you go to the gym, lift some weights here. All good for being active, but in terms of a holistic strengthening program, it's not the best. And so after decades of doing this, people end up with imbalances. They could have pain, they could not have pain. I don't know. But all of them who come here, all are imbalanced somehow because the way they train their body wasn't integrative. It didn't work together. There's a lot of tiny areas that people don't pay attention to, links that people don't pay attention to, that if you don't train it, it becomes untrained. And so when they come into the program, and now I want them to do something specific for this area, it's really challenging. And then they have a choice. You have a choice to scurry back to what you're doing before because, oh, this doesn't work for my body, and you can make excuses all you want, but it did work for your body. It's just you never felt this challenge before because you thought all you had to do was move. But that's not the way to progress in life. So whether you're a beginner, whether you're experienced, whether you're advanced, you have to take whatever challenges are presented to you and use that to grow. To grow means you have to think about, okay, what do I need to do mentally, emotionally to move myself forward? The physical part of moving around ends up not being that big of a deal. You push yourself, you sweat a little bit, you get a little sore. It's not a big deal. The hard part are the voices you tell yourself. Oh, I can't do this, it's too difficult for me, I'm a special snowflake, this doesn't work for my body, things like that. Very disempowering statements, which don't move you forward, that solidify you more into your little bubble, right? Never to progress. Never knowing that if you just open your mind, realize that you're not this, do a little crack open, and all of a sudden you move through that opening and now you're like, oh my goodness, I had no idea I was this. I could do this. That obviously helps you. You gain confidence, you gain bigger awareness, you expand, but more importantly, as I alluded to at the beginning, now you're of more service. Now the things you want to do in this life are more attainable. Maybe you can even do more than what you want to do. Now you can start to be of service because you realize who you are, right? Your body feels good. Your body's working the way you want to do because you've realized that you're more than you are. That starts, though, again, with embracing those challenges. I can't express this enough. I can't express enough how I see it in people's eyes where they give up themselves or where they embrace their challenges and move forward. 10 times out of 10, embracing those challenges leads to good results. It's never a bad thing. It all kind of boils down to one phrase, is that how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you wanted to improve your life, you have to be very aware of how you're approaching the activities you do. So in a health and fitness program, and you want to improve your life, really think about what am I making this stuff mean? Because if you look at it objectively, without emotion, all you're doing is working on areas of your body that are deficient, right? If you're using a holistic method, you're working on areas that are deficient. It's weak, it's tight, it's unaware. There's no emotion involved. It's your emotion on what you're making that mean. That's the gold right there, right? Do you choose to make it mean the same thing you've always made and stay in your little bubble? Or do you choose to realize, hey, I don't know if this is the best way to approach things. How can I become better? And that's going to lead you to a better you. And so if you can get through your ideas of what you're making the exercise mean, if you become more aware of how you're inhibiting your growth, both physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, then you can start to work on a program that really improves your life. When you use a holistic program and you balance your body by treating all the areas of your body that need educating, your life totally expands. I can't tell you how much better you feel. Each area of your body needs a different type of education, a different type of love. What you do for your joints of your spine is different than you do for your ligaments. It's different than the tendons. It's different than the muscles. It's different than the viscera. All these things need different things, but when you give it that love, that education, and you allow it to go back to the way it's supposed to function, you totally improve. Because we have a phrase here, structure dictates function. If you can kind of get through these challenges and improve your structure, the function of you completely increases. All functioning, not just physical. Sure, you'll move better, you'll be more balanced, be stronger, live a better life, but you'll think better. That sounds important. Your heart will work better, your lungs work better, your nervous system, your endocrine, your hormones work better. That means now, this body that you've been given is now functioning at its highest, which means you're going to feel amazing. But it's all because you decided to embrace your challenges and go for it. So I appreciate you listening to me on my little statement here. And if you're interested in hearing more about a holistic health and fitness program, then in the description below, I've got a link for a consultation. It'll just be me and you, and we'll talk about where you want to go, where you've been, your challenges, and I'm going to try and impart as much beneficial information as I can during our talk. If I see you're a good fit for a program, either our personalized online program, or if you're here in Santa Fe or going to be in Santa Fe and will benefit from our in-house program, then I'll offer it to you. If I don't feel you're a good fit, I'll still leave you with a bunch of good information. We'll still have a good talk. It'll still be nice to meet you. So use that link at the bottom. And thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and stay tuned for next week. Thanks.